Shanahan military. In today's video we're doing a mannequin on parade for the month of March. We're doing this chap. He's a representation of a soldier from the Australian Army that was involved in the 1999 peacekeeping operations in East Timor. Now just a brief history about Timor. Timor was initially a colony of Portugal. Was invaded during the Second World War by the Japanese. The Australians had a commando unit on Timor during the Second World War that were very helped a lot by the actual Timorese people themselves. Then in 1979, I believe, Malaysia invaded East Timor, held on to it for about 20 odd years, 30 odd years I believe. Then in 1999 there was a referendum held and East Timor decided to become a republic. The Malaysians withdrew, and when they were withdrawing they had a scorched earth policy pretty much, whereas there was East Timorese people being killed by other Timor people who were still loyal to the Malaysians. The Malaysians were doing hit and runs across the border, things like that. And then in 1999 the Australians went in with the UN backing on a mission called Interfat, and with Interfat there was a component put together from United Nations countries which the Irish did have an involvement in. Initially we sent over Irish Army Rangers, then there was I believe 3 to 4 tours of regular infantry soldiers supplied by battalions in Ireland, and they were reconnaissance specialised troops that were used for reconnaissance type patrols and things like that. So there was an Irish involvement with Interfat and the UN duties after that. The Australians pulled out I believe in 2003 or 2002, but they went back in again in 2006 because there was a bit of a civil war brewing, and they stayed there until 2013 I believe. So we're getting onto the mannequin here. Sorry for bombarding you there with information. So the soldier here is dressed as they would have entered into the East Timor conflict in '99. As I said, he's dressed as for a mini-me, or his webbing equipment is dressed for a mini-me. Now I just noticed there before doing this, his belt is on wrong. There is actually crossed rifles on his belt, and they're upside down. They should be the other way. I'll fix it again. So as I said, he's dressed for a mini-me gunner, which is the FN mini-me, which it's a 5.56 section machine gun. He would have carried 200 rounds in each pouch, along with 200 on his gun, so he would have had 600 rounds on his person, and each member of the patrol would have also carried another 200 round drum for him to change out his empty ones. I will spin him around so you can have a look at the back of the weapon. He's dressed in the typical Australian camouflage. It's a very, very unique camouflage. We used to call it the jelly bean camouflage. It's a very light cotton jungle specific uniform, and the pants as well are the same. The uniform itself to wear, I've actually worn this uniform. It's very, very light. It's nearly like wearing a tracksuit. Now on his head, I'll just take it off here, you have the wide brim. This is the wide brim, what they call the giggle hat. It has a sweatband on the inside of it and a string, obviously for securing it. This is the wide brim version. There is also, I have it here in my back pocket to show you, this one is fairly washed out. This is the short brim version. It varies what to see them in, whether it be the wide brim or the short brim. The short brim were a lot more favoured by the infantry guys, whereas the wider brim were more artillery guys that were static for a certain period of time, whereas the infantry guys liked the short brim. So as I said, he's got 2 chest pockets. There's no waist pocket, shall we say, on his shirt, and he has, obviously there's 2 pockets either side for his pants, and there's 2 cargo pockets on both legs. I will show you the bottom of the pants later on in the video to cover his boots, but at the bottom of the pants there's literally just a draw cord. There's no separate elastic to blouse the pants, and 90% of the time the guys would wear them loose over their boots anyway. They wouldn't blouse them over their boots, and they wear a tan boot. The webbing itself it's a variant of nearly the M56 pattern which they would have worn in Vietnam. There's no clips, no buck. Everything is literally strapped on, and on the inside of the web belt there's what's called a paddock belt or a kidney belt, and that pretty much keeps the it's for comfort. When you do wear these padded belts on the inside of your webbing though, they can cause hot spots and sweat pools together, especially on the hips and in the small of your back. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip him around so you can have a look at the back of the webbing, because there is more on the back. So now that we have the soldier turned around, as you see, as I said, it's just a plain H harness or a yoke. No, nothing special about it. It's made of a very, very hard, not hard, it's soft, but it's a very tightly woven weave, nearly a nylon, down into what they call the bum pack, which is nearly the exact. It's nearly an exact same copy of the M56 pattern, and the 2 water bottles, and on the outside of this water bottle, on a separate clip, they carried a first aid pouch. This soldier's carrying a first aid pouch. They also would carry a second one. Sometimes you would see the soldiers carrying a second one where they would have fit either their hexi tablets or their hexi cooker or water purification tablets. Now these water bottles, or shall we say these canteen covers, I'll just take out a bottle so I can show you, have the M56 or nearly the World War II version, the American style version of the clip that they can actually clip to the belt. I don't know if you can see it here in the background. I'll just move his arm. But the belt is nearly the exact same as an M56 type belt. All this equipment is original, all Australian. This was given to me by an Australian East Timor veteran. So I know it's all original. Now on all of the plastic work of the Australian Army, you will see crossed rifles. So that's just another little telltale sign that you can tell when it's Australian or not, or whether it's a reproduction or a copy or something like that. Now this guy is dressed for a very short patrol. They would have worn backpacks also, where they would have taken off this bum pack. This rig would get you maybe for a 24 or 48 hour patrol. And on the bottom here, these are taped up, but on the bottom there's extra straps that they would have carried their rain poncho or their bivvy shelter to set up camp for the night. So as I said, he's dressed for mini machine gunner. So I'm going to turn him back around and we'll face the front, and we'll just cover some last few bits. So now we have the soldier facing the camera again. As I said, this is a representation of an Australian infantryman in East Timor in 2009. You do see different variants. You do see them where they're wearing their flak jackets. Their flak jackets at the time was a variant of the American flak jacket, nearly the Israeli type flak jackets, the M67 I believe it was. On patrols, on general operations, you do not see them wear their helmets or their flak jackets. They were more for static positions. Their helmets at the time was this style, which is, it's the American I can never pronounce that name. Pasget helmet. This is a later helmet cover where it's got the foliage straps. The ones in 2009 would have not have had those straps, and I'll just put it on him just so you can have a quick look at it. But it's just your standard American style helmet. If we put on the chin strap, it won't be a bit too tight for him. But there's the chin strap. So as I said, the helmets and the body armour were normally worn in static positions, whereas when they were out on general patrol and stuff like that, it was what we call the bush hats. They called them giggle hats. And this is the short brim. Earlier on in the video you seen the wide brim version. The boots, I'll just cut to a picture of the boots. So as you see here, you have the boots, tan boots. They're called the GP, General Purpose Boots. Standard issued boot of the Australian Army at the time. You do see them wearing private purchase jungle boots, the American version, the black ones or the green ones. But in most videos or most clips or pictures, you will see them wearing these type, the GP boots. They did have their own version with canvas sides. Was a jungle boot variant as well, but they came on later after 99. They would have come around 2000, 2001. So there's just a brief talk, brief history, a brief explanation and a brief description of the equipment and history of the conflict in East Timor. So if you like what we provide here at Shanahan Militaria, please like, please subscribe, please tune in for the next video, please hit the notification button, and if you'd like to get in contact with the channel, the email will always be on top of the video description. Thank you.